Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alienware Arena. We have this Dragon Nest PvP Grand Finals going pretty crazy nuts here. It is the round 2 action, and it is, we hate to say the word, the loser playoff. It is the two teams who didn't quite make the grade in the first round matchups, and they're here in the second round to take each other on to see who can still get a leg up and stay with a foot in the door of potentially taking home the prizes. So the two teams, of course, are on my left, your right-hand side, Malaysia, and we will be off and racing because we're going to be heading across to Snowfield in a second. On my right is, of course, Indonesia. We'll be back with you in a second for Snowfield action here in Dragon Nest. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, off to Snowfield. It is the Malaysian side, made the BabySeason, made up of Baby Autumn, Baby Spring, Baby Summer, and the Sword Lord, who is, of course, the Sword Master. And for Indonesia, Team Ein are made up of Detri, Perfect Day, Hertrix, and I think we'll have Toto playing on this matchup, who will be the Bowmaster. So some good work here as we rock on into the middle of the map. And on my screen now is indeed that Indonesian Bowmaster as he has a look around. Can't quite find anybody, he's just checking up onto the ramp, and it's a good check to make too as he sees some players up there, fires a couple of cheap shots out. Will he be able to make some motions as he bails on back out there again? He had the priest in support, as I think there's a lightning relic or two being dumped up topside, as no, in fact there wasn't. So the priest here for Malaysia will get amongst it and get in there as they're still all sitting up top of the ramp. They've been watching the Singapore players in the previous matchup as everybody just sitting back at the stage, waiting it on through. And now we see the lightning relics getting dropped on down. Let's see what's going to happen from here. Is nobody really willing to enter into a toe-to-toe or a tay-to-tay. And now we see it, the priest drops down. He fires out the lightning relic. Shots go out from the mercenary as he boulders it on up. But nobody really getting... oh, here we go. So the shots on the priest are big ones now as the Elemental Lord comes into full effect. Volley of arrows, a big combo from the mercenaries. The whirlwind comes out. He's on his last legs as the priest, and there you go. He'll be the first one down. Malaysia will grab the first death as Indonesia the first kill. Shots from the acrobat as he takes on the Bowmaster over in back play as more acrobat action here from the Malaysian players. They're going to need to try and grab themselves a kill along the way. It's not going to look good here for them as the mercenary joins the fun, and now the acrobat's going to have to bail on out, seek some support. He fires a couple of shots off and dragging in a few players, but now getting stung in a bit of a web from the Bowmaster. He's going to get taken down, yeah, any second. Bang, there you go. He'll get removed from the map. No, he's still going to keep going. It's going to be a 3v3. Now it's a 3v2. Make it a 3v1 as the Elemental Lord gets dropped at the same time as well. And it is all left up to this little man in the form of the Swordmaster. The Sword Lord, what can he do here for Malaysia? Nothing. He will be snapped in half by the mercenary. And the first round will go to Indonesia as their solid work continues here. So we will progress on to round 2 of this round 2 matchup between these two sides. Indonesia just grabbing that first round, they get themselves one on the board, and it's always nice to be first up because it gives you that little bit of a headspace advantage. The priest buffs up his teammates, and some good work is starting to ensue here as we see the players sitting back. They're just chucking the odd cheap shot up to the top of the ramp as the ramp raid is the preferred option here from the Malaysian side. As they continue to fight. Oh, big fireball chucked out there from the Elemental Lord, and a volley of arrows going down, but also being received from the Bowmaster and the Acrobat. Let's see if the Acrobat can rock on up there and stir up some more trouble up on the ramp, as still everybody just sitting back quite happily. The priest goes up there and fires on out the debuff. And some more shots from the Elemental Lord go out there. Fireball flung out, and it hits the intended target as well, so that's good work. And now the Elemental Lord roars on in. She goes in head first as well, and then rides the broomstick like Harry Potter to be proud. She goes in and goes nuts, takes a few shots here and there, but she's done a whole lot of hurt onto those Indonesian players. She's suffering a bit though as the Elemental Lord as she needs some support, preferably from a priest, as the priest indeed starts to get the buffs on and heals up the as this Elemental Lord chucks out a couple of shots here and there. The Grand Cross chucked out. There's the healing relic. Good work there from the priest as the opposition priest here from Indonesia starts to go through. Malaysia's lost one player on the board, but they're still in a very good space. They've got some good help from their teammates. Bang, there's the first kill as the Bowmaster was up high for Indonesia, but in the end taken out there from Malaysia. Shots are still continuing on through the middle of the map here as this BabySeason side will be wanting to grab themselves around here, get on the board. They ride the chasing down the team. There's some good work on the Flame Rod as rode there from the Elemental Lord here from Malaysia. Indonesia copping too much hurt, and that is some fantastic work. This player on screen, the Elemental Lord, you can attribute to a lot of good work in that round. She had two very successful flame rods, and that's when she rocks it out like she's looking like Harry Potter, and she does indeed chase down the little ball like nothing on earth. And it looks like we're going to see a ramp raid once again. And no, we're not. They've both gone opposite seas this time round. So up we come. A bit of hilarity coming from the Indonesian players as they were ready for it with good stead. Shots go down from the top of the ramp over onto the Indonesian players. The Malaysian side just wanting to sit back and wait for everything to come to them. They're the Elemental Lord copping a bit of heat, and it won't be well received, I'm sure, as she cops a bit more trouble. She's really getting hit up here, and they're going to need to make some movement towards getting a few hits on to the Indonesian side of Malaysia now, because they've got a few players on the wrong side of the health ledger. Here comes a bit of a buff and a revive from the priest for the Malaysian side. More shots coming in, some good shots too. The Indonesian Bowmaster is doing some really good cheap shots, and it's going to force the priest to fire up the healing relic. It doesn't matter because they're all going to roar on into the action. Big frost spikes come out there. More frost and chain lightning goes on as the Elemental Lord from Malaysia is stuck into a world of trouble. She's going to get absolutely nailed any second now. She's really just avoiding dying rather than doing any work on the offensive. She fires a few more shots out there. She's really lucky to still be alive. More shots flung out there. She starts to try and avoid the mercenary, who will not be evaded, and she will get taken down with the mercenary boulder. More shots from the mercenary here on top of the Swordmaster. Sword Lord coupling a bit of hurt here as the mercenary from the Philippines is delivering a less than merciless attack as shots go firing onto him. The Sword Lord stuck into a world of trouble. He's on literally 1% health. He will get taken down surely any second, and there you go. He is taken down. 4v1 situation. This is going to end up in nothing but tears for Malaysia, and it'll be 2 rounds to 1 for Indonesia as they grab another. So the ramp raid attack not quite working here for Malaysia at this stage. Will it mean that they have to change it up is the question as they start to get themselves organised? Will it be a middle of the field full-on foray and full-on approach as they sit back and spawn and just wait it on out for the moment? The shots start to come across the map as they start to go through to the middle of the snowfield. It is probably a better opportunity here for them, but they're just not throwing anything out just at the moment. The priest is sitting back, so is the mercenary as they start to make their movements in towards the middle of the map. The acrobat's coming around the corner. The Bowmaster's going to take care of her as the Elemental Lord bails on out the back. Still the ranged shots are going in. They might be down on the middle of the field, ladies and gentlemen, but they don't want to go and say hello to each other and shake each other's hands. The Elemental Lord's going to change that as the mercenary going hunting. He fires some boulders out from up close. Some more shots go ringing out. He's going to buff himself with a couple of howls as he starts to roll the rolling attack out, but nothing is going to be on the end of it. He goes for the acrobat. He's going to hit her, and then he's going to go for the priest as well. More shots going on. Here comes a big combo from him. He keeps on comboing on the priest. Keeps on hitting the priest. Can't quite ragdoll him, but he's getting him while he's down. He buffs himself up with a big howl. It's a 4v3 situation here as Indonesia have lost one in the background while the mercenary has been going mercilessly on the offensive. Some more shots go ringing out here from from Malaysia as the Indonesian side is really trying to hit hard, but they just can't do the damage they need to do. The Elemental Lord continues to provide problems. They've got their health down to a less than satisfactory level to the Malaysian team. As the mercenary stuck in a frostball, he's going to get nailed by the acrobat. Absolutely hammered indeed. And it'll be a 4-on-1 situation. This round is going to go into Malaysia, and it'll be back to even Stevens, ladies and gentlemen. 2 rounds apiece on the board. You cannot pull these teams apart. Literally throw a tissue over the pair of them because there's nothing to see splitting the difference. So let's see what the change in tactics is going to do for them this time, as Malaysia once again with the work to do. They're starting to push up through the mid again. Yes, they are. So it's blatantly obvious where they're going to head as they start to use this rock over the far side as a little bit of a divider between the two sides. Nobody wanting to go in toe-to-toe just at this stage. Let's see if the Mercenary and the Swordmaster are going to make some movements in the right direction. The shots are flung out from the Swordmaster as the Priest is the object of his desires. That is the desire to take him down. He gets him some good support as the Swordmaster. Both the Priest and the Acrobat. Oh, volley of arrows is a good one there from the Bowmaster. That's some good work as the Acrobat and the Swordmaster now trying for the Mercenary. The Mercenary just bailing on out, bucks himself with a howl, and then he's going to come back for some more action. Swordmaster copping a whole lot of hurt. The Mercenary going in to try and take him down even further. He's going to absolutely slam him and slaughter him. Is he going to take him down? Not quite, but he's going to get done over in the end. The Swordmaster will go down. 4-on-3 situation here. The Priest is suffering for Indonesia. The Malaysian side doing some good work, but they've got a number of players on very, very low health. This is going to end in a great big hurry when it does, ladies and gentlemen. I assure you of that, because these teams have got each other right on the brink of taking down. Here we go, Malaysia loses another one. They just need to grab one or two, and they will be onto it. Where's the Elemental Lord when you need her to take full effect? Right, the Lightning Rod, love. Go on, get amongst it. She's not going to do so. Is this the Frost getting chucked up in and about? It is a 2-plays-1 situation, and down she goes. Malaysia will lose the round, but not without a fantastic battle and well fought out fight as we go to a 3-on-2 situation here. So Indonesia grabbing the lead, and they still cannot be separated. They still stay within a round of each other, and we will still see what has to come. Here's Malaysia just cuddling together, waiting for the buffs. They are obliged, courtesy of their Priest. And that is, who's that? That's the Baby Autumn, the captain here for this Baby season side. So we wait to see what's going to happen here. Shots go ringing out as they start to chase them. They're going to go for a little bit of a race away, tear away down to the lower tier. So there is a lower tier little sort of area that these players can disappear down to, ladies and gentlemen. It hasn't really been used because it does get you cornered and trapped in a fairly large way. As now the shots go out. Elemental Lord just firing some about, and the Priest just looking up topside to see what's coming down on them. As we just wait for, I'm waiting for some boulders to come flung down on them. They're going to go back in towards mid, are they? They're just communicating amongst themselves as to which way they should be going. Quick, cheap shots being chucked about as the Acrobats and the Bowmasters just getting in and getting their shots off and on to each other. As here we go now, the Bowmaster starts to get the shots working quite nicely. So does the Acrobat. The Flame Riders road there from the Elemental Lord. She causes a bit of hurt onto the opposition. Will it be enough to really get her team going, though? The Mercenary is the player to watch as he's starting to rock and roll around. He howls himself up a storm to try and get buffed and ready to rock and roll. He takes a couple of cheap shots here as it looks like the Swordmaster is the one that is giving him the most grief. He has some backdoor action from the Acrobat as she tosses him about. That is a good piece of work there as the chick takes on the dude, and the Mercenary is going to have to bail on out of there because he's really suffering. It's still a 4v4 situation, ladies and gentlemen. Shots go ringing out all over the middle of the map, and here we go. It is all big flame balls flying. The ice shards come roaring out of the ground, and the first player is down. The Bowmaster gets dropped. And it's going to be the Mercenary next to go. Here we go any second. It's going to be a 3v3 situation. The Mercenary is literally teetering on the brink of death. There you go. It was a nice little dodge shot out the back door that took him down. The Elemental Lord for Indonesia fires out the flame rod, but she's going to go down very, very soon. And there you go. Back even Stevens, 3 rounds apiece, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to go right down to the wire, as it is first to 5 rounds will win. We've had 6 go. Who will get that magical 4th round to give them the match point? That's what we're going to find out any second now, as the two teams start to rock on into the middle. Malaysia's had a habit of being the ones that have created the field that they want to go in and get involved in, and Indonesia have been the ones that have been chasing. Let's see if that changes in any shape or form as the players start to get themselves organised. The Elemental Lord just sitting back here for Indonesia, just calling the shots as to where everybody's going. They will wait it on out for the moment as we see a few spells and so forth being thrown about. The Priest just buffing up his team. Some good work there from him as we continue to wait for any toe-to-toe action to start on up. The Bowmaster's going to Joe down the bottom, and she's going to chuck a few shots over towards him. Looks like they may have gone over to the far side, and that's the call. So they're going to come up through the mid-stairs, are they? As everybody waits, there they are down the bottom. The Bowmaster's found them. He's going to chuck a shot or two across. The Priest gets himself up into a bit of trouble, and he's going to get a whole host of shots chucked at him. Now everybody roars in from Malaysia. It is going to be a nutso minefield here on the snowfield as shots are rung out. Aerial shots come through. More shots flung about all over the place. The Priest is looking like he's hot to trot. Acrobat bouncing around, trying the shots on. She gets parried up into the air, and not very good fashion. She is getting hammered. Lightninged up a storm as the Priest takes to her like she doesn't exist. As she tries to grab a shot or two in to pull a combo, she's going to get nailed. There you go. She'll be the second one down as it'll turn into a 4v2 situation here. Indonesia getting in the right side of the ledger. The Swordmaster for Malaysia needs to get amongst them. He should be up front there, taking to each other, taking to the opposition. He's not. He's going to get nailed in the end. It'll be a 4v1 situation, and we know when that occurs that there's nothing you can do but die, and that's exactly what is obliged from Malaysia. It'll be a 4v3 round count. Indonesia grabbing the match point, but all we've seen, ladies and gentlemen, is one round that goes one way and then the next round goes the other way. Let's see if Indonesia can break that at the most critical of times to grab themselves the match in this loser v loser matchup here from the round one games. So this round two match has been an absolute stunner as these two teams continue to push on through. Let's see what Indonesia has up their sleeve, or let's see what Malaysia can come back from. Fireballs chucked out there, the lightning relics are laid down, plenty of cover being taken up from Malaysia as they still sit a little effort down. And now the shots come in, they start to engage on this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, as the Priest is pushing on up. He throws down the Holy Terror, and it's going to be a good piece of work from him, but will it be enough to grab a few kills for his team? That's exactly what these sides need to do. They need to grab that one early kill that's going to give their side the buff up. The Priest here from Indonesia pushing on through, doing some good work with it, but he's really suffering at the hands of the opposition. He gets touched up far too much from the Acrobat. He's down to around about 40% health and really suffering at the hands of these Malaysian players. The Malaysian Priest is on full health just about, while his opposite man is now down. He'll be the first one to go. Malaysia grabbed the first advantage, but their Elemental Lord on screen is in a whole lot of trouble. She's starting to fire the shots out as a volley of arrows comes towards her from the opposition Bowmaster. She starts to make her move across. She fires at that said Bowmaster, can't quite evade her to the full extent. A ball almost honed in on by the arrow, and it's a 4v1 situation here. It is going to be Indonesia falling over, as I'm sure we're about to see, and it'll be 4 rounds apiece on the scoreboard any second now. We're literally just delaying the inevitable here as the Indonesian player continues to push on through. Oh, here we go. Round 8, ladies and gentlemen, round 8 on the board. Round 8. And this is where Ricky Martin starts singing, "Do You Really Want It?" Because that's exactly what has to happen for these two teams. They really need to make a decision as to what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and what they're going to make changed to affect it. As they start to push on up into the mid, it is going to be the preferred method of attack from the two sides, as Malaysia's Elemental Lord sits back. Not the best place for her to be. No engagement happening thus far, ladies and gentlemen. They're just watching each other from afar. The Priest from Indonesia comes through and says, "I got this, dudes. Follow me." And everybody does. The Elemental Lord is rocked down to half health already, as the Priest has affected half that issue on the Malaysian player from Indonesia, the Indonesian Priest. The Malaysian Elemental Lord backs out. She's going to take a bit of a step back from the action as she starts to get herself reorganised. The Mercenary in the meantime having a little bit of a toe-to-toe with Swordlord. Swordlord copping a whole lot of hurt. The Swordmaster being bounced and parried around. Will he get taken down over in the background? Oh, not quite. Yes, he does. And at the same time, hold the phone. He's gone and taken out two. That is huge work there. And the Indonesian players go drop 1-2s as you think the Swordlord was about to get dumped, and he's just going nuts. Look at him. He is hammering through. The Bowmaster copping a world of hurt. The Swordmaster going nuts. You thought he would be the one to go down, and he's going to affect it. Malaysia win the round in spectacular fashion. The Swordmaster, 11 kills there from Malaysia. He was on the back end of a drubbing, got buffed up by the Priest, and then came back to win it for his team with a big 2 down. So some fantastic action here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another big round of Dragon Nest action here at the PvP Grand Finals. We have seen some spectacular play come about, and those two matches you just saw for the round 2 were the setups that we were wanting to see. Malaysia coming through the winners, Singapore coming through the winners. That was a first round matchup in its own right, so it is all opened the table up something chronic. We will be back with spectacular round 3 action, I'm sure, very, very soon. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen.